What's up, everybody? Rob Nakamura here with the High Chief Zac Pauga. Together, we're fully hydrated. My man, how you doing?
I'm doing good, man. I'm doing good. And that was I don't know what the opening is going to be, guys. I get as surprised as you are, and that was such a good boxing match. That Boots Ennis, that was such a good fight this weekend.
Dude, such a good fight. And you know what's even crazier? The main topic on our headlines of this whole weekend of our show this week is bad refing. And even that fight itself, thank God, didn't have anything, but that event, the top two other fights on that card, the co-main and the featured bout, both had huge WTF moments with that. And it's just like a plague. We'll get into all that. That's going to be the main focus later on in the episode, folks. But yeah, that fight was fucking so good, dude. And
And the big thing that I don't like, shout out to both guys, right? Boots is obviously getting all the love for winning, but Zaya, like, if you're not a huge fan of boxing, literally the refs or the announcers are yelling at Boots to box, to point fight, to get out, to back up. That
mhm,
was two guys fighting, right? Which is what
yes,
we want, which is what we all
right.
want, and that's why like BKFC is so awesome right now, because that's all anyone ever does is fight. There's no point fighting, and you so rarely see that at the top of boxing. Two guys that decide, no, we're just going to fight. We're just going to figure this out right now, and it was so good. It was so awesome to watch that.
Dude, and everything you just said, I hell yeah to. I also want to go to promoters on both end, Bob Arum and my rare love to Eddie Hearn for getting this done while both the guys are young and studs.
Yeah.
Not like there's so many times boxing misses on this. That's what I think. Not only the fighting styles and stuff that you just mentioned, but on top of that, both guys prime. Maybe some people saying Xander a little young at 23, but shit, like why not now? That's the kind of stuff where okay, he takes an L now, good things happen later. But we'll talk a little bit more about that stuff as it goes along. What we do have is our regular scheduled programming, so our one mainstay, our old dependable segment. We always start the show with the pump and dump, where we look at the most recent UFC event, which in this case was UFC Baku in the beautiful nation of Azerbaijan. Anybody on this list, top to bottom, can get it. And what is it? Some love, some admonishment, some and folks, don't worry. We're gonna go in on the refs. Like the refs is like an interweaving story in this story. It's gonna be one to tell, but I don't get to choose if we're pumping or dumping. My brother, what are we doing?
So I'm pumping first. I'm pumping first, and it's like kind of a pseudo dump on myself, but I am pumping Fizaev for such a masterful magic performance.
Oh, what? Let's go. Let's see. All right, I got two clips. Let's ride with it.
So, dude, yeah, obviously, amazing finish, wheel kick finish, absolutely blew him out. It wasn't a fluke either. He was in the fight and looking good in the lead up to it. And the
Yep.
big thing, like what I want to say about myself, maybe I'm just becoming a casual now, but I we could play the clip from last week. I completely wrote him off. I was like, he's done. He got washed out. Like he hasn't had any fire his last few fights. Blah blah blah. All that stuff. Well, want to know why? Because his last two losses were to Justin Gaethje, the champion of the world, the guy who just beat the pound for pound number two on planet Earth, and we all of a sudden forgot that Fiziev is really really good because he lost to the champion
Mm-hmm.
twice in a row.
Mm-hmm.
Like an amazing way to remind everybody exactly who you are. Even the people, the so-called experts like myself. You go out there, they give you a guy that is not on your level, right? That guy had never fought anyone ranked at all, and now that he's fighting number 7 in the world or whatever, boom, yeah, you go out there, wheel kick him in the head. Amazing.
Amazing. You know, we're proud of our wins, and we eat our losses like men, because I was on board with you. I I went with youth. I went with the script. And you know it's funny? People always say, which is true, MMA math doesn't work. Yeah, but it works backwards.
Right.
Like forward,
Strength
it
of
doesn't work.
schedule. Strength of
Yes.
schedule is a thing that nobody pays attention to, right? Nobody cares
Mhm.
that I lost to Bogdan Guskov, who's number 3 in the world right now. They just
Right.
go, "Oh, you got knocked out when he was unranked," you know?
Right. Because at the time,
Yeah.
which we're such a victim of at the time in this sport. But yeah, when you look at the whole catalog or take a higher field of view, yeah, it like makes sense. You go, oh yeah, Justin Gaethje, and he didn't look bad in those fights. He just
No, they were
couldn't beat
competitive
him.
fights, and
Yeah, he just
lost on
couldn't beat him.
points.
Yeah. It's like, oh, you couldn't beat the world champ. How
Yeah.
shitty of you.
Yeah.
Yeah, dude.
Okay, you're not the best fighter on earth. Yo, you must suck, you know?
Yeah, how dare you be number 3 best guy on the planet? Yeah, I feel all that, dude. Feel it. All right. Since we're pumping, here's my pump, and it's. I just want to just say, like, in an imagination, in a self hallucination, you like hope, and I'm projecting as just someone who paid to get beat up in a gym. Maybe you can share it from a real fighter's point of view, but like everything this guy does in this clip is like what you want to do. Is like, oh, perfect. That right there. Hopefully, what I mean, chef's kiss, attaboy. I mean, just all of it. I know the clip kind of starts off fast, but he stayed right out of the taller, bigger guy's range. So like he neutralized him in that regard, but he was right there. Then when he did quickly close the distance, he threw a combo. He didn't just waste his time there, like threw the combo, blew him up, was striking, wasn't worried about like, let me jump on the submission or like whatever, just causing damage, focusing on that. And soon as his opponent basically gave him the arm triangle, he's like, okay, doing this now. And then he stayed in the mount. And I'm just, now this is me just inferring. This is just me just making up shit. But maybe he's like, okay, maybe this choke doesn't work out here. Well, then I'll still have the mount and I'll go back to pounding your face in. Like, oh, I was just like, damn, dude, that's how you fight.
So that was so amazing because this was almost my pump. That was almost my pump.
Right.
For one specific reason, though. For one specific, obviously amazing finish, but completely drops him. He's in the turtle and he hits him like 25 times without a single inference that they were in the back of the head. 25 clean shots to the head when the guy's on the ground. It's possible, guys. It's very doable.
I love it. I love the dart. That was nice. Awesome. Full respect to that. All right. So we got the positivity out of the way. I'm assuming we're going to the dump.
So here's my dump, and it's gonna be a complicated one, but stick with me, guys. Stick with me. Michelle Pereira.
All right. And stick with us. There's 3 clips we got to run through here. So it's a 3. I just got to say the Spanish announcers have so much more flavor, dude. Incredible.
So, I say this every week. We're gonna have to put this on the banner. It's not because he lost the fight. It's not. I'm not dumping you, Michelle, because you lost the fight. You like, and it's. We will get to the ref stuff. We'll get to Herb. We'll get to all of that. This is super specific about Michelle. You were the better fighter, dude. You were clearly superior. Size, strength, speed, technique, everything. There was like just 2 rounds where he didn't fight. Where it was like I was like, what? I'm literally watching this going like, is this fixed? Did he like? Why isn't he fighting? He's better than him. He's hurting him. He's bigger, stronger, faster, everything, and he's just not engaging at all.
Yes,
and I get. he hasn't been that crazy wild guy since like his first UFC fight, and that was like 7 years ago, and they still play the clips from that one. So I get that he's like he's trying to like break this stereotype, this mold that he has. But you got to fight, man. Especially when you're winning. Like I don't know why he was so tentative when he was like when he wanted to. He almost put Magomedov away like easily, and then he backed all the way off and did nothing.
Dude, I was borderline like getting frustrated watching in that second round where he like just completely took off. And then, you know, the commentators made a comment that kind of made me go, okay, maybe like he's like, well, he does have like a energy issues was what they said basically. And I was like, you know, that is true, but sometimes that came through that comes from doing all the high flying antics. I was like, okay, or maybe I don't know. I was just trying to generate like a tactical excuse for going through the second round like that. So now I was like, you know, all right, then pedal down. Then what you get to do, since you took all of the second round off literally through like 4 strikes, maybe, then you get to go hard in round 3, and then that's also not what happened. And yeah, I'm with you in the sense of like, I just don't like. I don't think lose. Don't just like quiet quit.
Well, and that's what, dude, and that's a great thing, a great term for quiet quitting. And I've said this before, right? Maybe Michelle shouldn't listen to me. Maybe he's had a better UFC career than I had. Maybe he shouldn't listen to me. I have 6 losses, right? Of my 6 losses, only 1 has been a decision. Like I'm not gonna sit there and just get outpointed. I'll lose, but I'm gonna lose trying to win. You know.
Yeah, I'd rather you beat me than I contribute to my underperformance. Then like I assist you with like I'm just gonna not bring my best.
Yeah,
I
guess
just,
yeah. Guess I'll just sit out here. I'm not getting hurt at least. At least I'm not.
Yeah,
like,
I can go take pictures with fans after. Folks, thank you for joining us nice and early into these first segments. If you catch this later, you know, drop comments. Let us know what you want to see. If you'd like to see this content later, how to reshuffle the show. But most importantly, like, subscribe, and repost if you're on X. If you're seeing this on X, we can get your comments as well. So whether you're live or later, you know, we read them, want to see them. And once again, 7 p.m. Pacific time, join us live all the time because I often have to scrub these videos because people get butthurt and they want their copyright, and I don't care about any of that. All right. So my dump kind of makes no sense. And I'll explain it. Yes, on brand. All right, I'm just gonna show it and then I'll explain myself because there's no way I can explain myself into it. Am I gonna dump on Julius Walker? Hell no, I'm not gonna do that. Like, that's a fight. Sometimes shit happens. You get blown up. Am I gonna like talk about any of the other weird stuff? No, my dump is stupid. I'm gonna admit that it's stupid, but my dump is, if you're gonna do something spectacular, like, be number 1. Being tied for second is really dumb to me. And maybe it's just maybe the racer in me. Tied for second, that means you're third place by default because you're 2B. You're not even 2A. You're not even the primary number 2. You're the auxiliary number 2. No boy growing up, it goes, I want to be auxiliary number 2. Like, that is just, you could have just waited a half more second, then you wouldn't have been a record. But you make it the second best, fastest light heavyweight division knockout ever. The second place. That's the part that I'm dumping on, is the technicality of this. And also I'm dumping on the UFC starting to become like the NFL with the AWS stats. Like, why do we need all these micro stats, dude? If it's not the first or the second,
yeah, so,
you know, like,
that's what I was gonna say. Stats guys, why bring it up? Why like, is that a stat we care about? Tied for the second in a specific weight class? Do you know what that actually means? It actually means nothing. It actually means it's nothing.
Yes, you're 2B. Nobody gives a shit about 2B. Well,
I want to say one more thing about this fight.
Yeah.
People, people have been going crazy sharing that Julius Walker on someone interviewing him up to the fight. They're like, the internet, it just sucks, guys. I don't know why people have so much trouble listening and hearing. Julius, they asked him, like, the question to him was, what would be the best case scenario? And he said, if I knocked him out in one punch. And then he goes on to say, but I'm not planning for that. Like, I don't think that's going to happen, blah, blah, blah. And then he obviously got knocked out in one punch. And people are trying to act like he said he was going to do that, and then it happened to him. And I'm like, what? Like, that's if you actually listen, that's not what he said at all. Right. And then B, like, what? Like, when you ask people this, when you ask a fighter, oh, how do you think the fight's going to go? What is he supposed to say? Like, what are you supposed to go? Oh, I'm gonna have a dog fight. I'm gonna get lucky, and Herb Dean's gonna let me foul him and get a win. Like, what do you think the fighter's supposed to say? Yeah, I'm gonna punch him one time and blow his head off. Like, and then you're gonna shit on him afterwards because of that. I hate that stuff, dude.
As now a former media guy, and I just share love to the people who are going down that path. Don't ask those shit questions. Don't ask those played ass tired questions. All right. If it doesn't move the story or highlight the character, the fighter's brand, the athlete's brand, don't ask it. It's stupid. All right. Oh yeah, just like Zach said. What is he supposed to say? I want to work really, really hard for my $15,000. Like no, like that's not it. Or what? And like, come on. His answer, folks. If you're in a fight, what the most ideal thing is your very first strike blows them up, and you get to walk away like a cool guy. Like that is the most normal fucking answer.
And I don't know him at all. I don't know him at all. And I just hate when people do this. Like, he gave a well thought out, like well articulated answer, and nobody's listening to it. Nobody's listening to it. They're just going, oh, he said one punch KO and he got one punch KO'd. Let's make fun of him. Like,
yeah, no, it's weird. It's weird. I'm actually glad the conspiracy people didn't like float the other way. Be like, oh, he said one punch knockout, but then he took the one punch knockout like as a fade. Like, geez, whatever. All right. Well, in the spirit of fun things, though, I'm gonna spin this dump because it's weird. I'm gonna spin it and share with you. I'm sure you've probably seen the clips, but they're classics. So since this is second place, so 2B, this is 2A.
The Cornhuskers fans are here tonight in Colorado supporting Houston Alexander, set to take on the Sandman. Tonight's clock sponsored by Subway Restaurant. Subway, eat fresh. Alexander quickly.
I love the taunt. The taunt at the end was really great. Also, Easter egg, little hint as we go into the refs conversation, little vintage Steve Mazzagatti clip there. He will be brought up later in this episode. And if you're wondering where the hell Steve's been, pay attention to Apex fights. He's the timekeeper. He's been the timekeeper for quite some time now. He's no longer ref, but he's still right there, maybe messing up the time. I don't know. This message. Love you, Steve. All right, to the first place, to the real record, to the one that actually fucking matters, not second place or second place part 2. All right, here we go. The fastest light heavyweight knockout of all time.
Anthony Perosh, born and raised in Sydney, Australia, against Edmonton, Alberta's Ryan Jimmo. That might be a UFC record. That is what you call a debut. Wow.
Dude, the celebration was better than the knockout.
That's why I left the whole thing in there. Rest in peace, Ryan Jimmo. Thank you for that memory and that awesome dance celebration at the end. Also, he's not going to be on the worst refs conversation, but honorable mention to ref Rosenthal, Josh Rosenthal. He was a bad boy. And I'll just leave it at that. Did some stuff before it was legal. You're before your time, kid. You can't do weed farms before the weed farms are legal, bro. Moving on. Moral interpretitude is not allowed when you're a ref. All right. There you go. That's a brief little history run through the light heavyweight division knockouts, because that dump, it caused like this like run of my mind. Like I was like, you know what? I just need to go down this silly ass rabbit hole and see where it goes. We do, as usual, have a lot of comments, actually a lot more comments than usual for this. So people, I release a poll right after the fights are done to see what the temperature of the people feel about the event, get their thoughts. And I want to thank everybody who answered and participated, and even more so, more thanks to everybody who dropped their comments, because I'll be sharing them right now. So let's look at the results. The people came in with force, with the winning percentage being 45%. This was like a congressional vote, winning at 45%. Mid was the results, which I kind of get. And then 40%, a close second, was loved it. And my people, the people I love the most in life, that probably think the most like me, 14.6% with the super sucked, which I disagree. I don't think it's super sucked at all, but there are some people who felt that way, and I don't hate it. So thank you guys for participating once again.
So for me, it was a good card. It was a good card, but all the referee nonsense is what like made it mid and like almost super sucked. When I was like, what are we even watching?
Yeah, I just don't feel like we should be having these kind of conversations, in the sense of like,
not with the UFC, not with the UFC.
Well, yeah, and like, I don't know. I know this is stupid we do this every time, but when comparing it to other major sports, I know it's a stupid fucking thing to do, but I'm gonna do it right now anyway. So hold on. Like in other leagues, like in other prestigious leagues, pick your favorite 3-letter sport that's not this. All right. When the refs screw up big, like pretty obviously big, they get a timeout.
Yeah.
They go sit down and they think about their actions and they write a little essay. I don't know if they write essays. And then guess what? They get put on the least important fucking game like for the next 2 weeks until they prove that they're not retarded. And then they get put back in the seat that they had. And they sure as shit don't get promoted. Like, that's another weird one. Like, you got guys effing up and then they're doing co-main and main event fights. It's like, bruh, come on. Okay, still, that's all later to come. We're gonna rant on the rest later. We still got people's comments. Yeah, here we go. Running through them as fast as I can. We got Rudy. What's up, brother Rudy? Thank you for commenting. Better than expected, which is a positive tone. We got Nicholas Basile. Decent card. Had a little bit of everything. Good fights, bad fights, a rare submission, a fast knockout, etc. It was nice to see Baku get a solid card. It was also nice to hear the crowd cheer instead of boo after takedowns. I think that's a pretty solid comment, that last part. Like, yes, grappling is fun, folks. Grappling is hard. Respect all parts of the game, not instant booing. I like that comment. It was a good Rising Ranks, excuse me. It was good. Questionable refereeing. Capital letters, brother. Capital letters. We have a whole segment for that. Kurt Schaefer, somewhere after mid and before loved it. No super entertaining fights, but most still pretty good. 7 out of 10. And thank you, Kurt. That's exactly why these comments are important, for the nuance between those things. Because I agree.
And I like to perfect, like 7 out of 10, and maybe like I go off of the like American school system grading system. That's a mid to me. When I say mid, I meant 7 out of 10, right? If you're saying 5 out of 10 is not a mid, that is an F. That's a failure if you're 5 out of 10.
Yes.
To me is mid.
There's not a middle number. Yeah, that's 50%. That's fail. Once again, back to school. Hell yeah. All right. Who else we got? Mike Wright. Honestly, didn't even know they were on until the event was over. I feel like I heard nothing about any of the fights. Mike, it was kind of subdued. It wasn't really pushed. I think that they knew that it was at a less than prime time.
Yeah, the timing.
Yeah. It was for the other half of the fan base. excuse me, the other half of the world. Wasn't for us, even though I woke up at 6 a.m. for it. All right, Chase. A few notes. Who doesn't love an early card every now and then? Free up Saturday night for once. 2, the card absolutely delivered, maybe over delivered to some. 3, the year of the Unk continues. And 4, underdogs have been paying out pretty good this year. Well, good luck to you, buddy. I hope everybody catches on to those things.
So I wanted to say one thing real quick about this year of the Unk thing. Like, if you're a gambler, don't take any advice from me. However, this year of the Unk thing, Dana, we know, right? Dana's not involved in the matchmaking anymore. At the tip top, it's Hunter. Hunter Campbell is doing these fights. And he, doesn't know shit about fighting, right? He's a numbers guy. He has nothing to do with fighting. He wants young blood so bad that he is throwing all of these dudes up the ladder as quick as he can. That's all he's trying to do. If you're whatever this one was, you're ranked number 15, looking good. All right, go fight number 5. And like, that's just not how it works in martial arts. That's not how it works. Like in this game, as much as he wants these young fighters to do well, you're not going to overcome these crafty vets with like 20, 30 UFC fights when you've got 5 of them.
That's solid. That's solid analysis right there, man. Who else we got? We got Tuffy, low level fucking slop that contained finishes because every fighter on the card was either had terrible cardio or super low IQ. Mixing with shitty stoppages from refs who clearly have no idea what the fuck they were doing. This weekly event bullshit needs to end and cut half the roster. Tuffy, you came out swinging, and I respect a lot of what you're saying. I respect a lot of what you're saying there. The oversaturation problem is something we've mentioned here on the show many, many, many times. TF is cool. Mid. Nassim and Shara fight almost ruined it completely, but Fiziev came through at the end. That's it. That was what's up. Jerry Lucia, excuse me. Mid as fuck, laughing my ass off. Bunch of absolute slot fighters and kicked off the card with an egregious home-cooked ref. Jerry, you're reading into the future. You future reader, we're gonna tear into the refs. I swear to God, we're gonna tear into the refs.
Yeah, we're gonna get there, guys.
We're gonna get there. But yeah, it started off bad and ended up not being better. John Cone Jones beats watching Love Island with the better half. Absolutely no complaints in this perspective. Hey, I'm glad that this time switch saved you from unnecessary TV programming. BTC, Bitcoin Mike. The crowd was electric. Lots of stoppage. It was great. I agree. The crowd was into it, and that makes it so much better, dude. Like,
when I said last week that I was at Baku, dude, and I was there with Curtis Blades, big time wrestler. It was like being there with the NBA. Like, we couldn't get off the bus. It was the crowd there is insane, huge MMA fans, and it was cool to experience because I had never experienced that from the MMA side, where like you can't even go eat lunch because you're gonna get swarmed wherever you go.
That's beautiful. I love it, and I'm glad the fighters get to experience such a thing, and you did too. It's cool as shit. Mike Tomzak, happy for Fiziev. He's so small for 155. Small and mighty though, and all that muscle. We got X5, pretty good events to be honest. And the last comment I saved just because I found it absolutely hilarious and it seems honest. So here we go. Last comment from Nicholas. This thing lagged and I pressed super suck. So that is super funny to me. The good old X glitched on him. That's not even what he wanted to vote. Nick, hit us up. Let us know what you actually wanted to vote, my man. There we go. So that's the thoughts and our review of the pump and dump. So what we do, we look back at the fight, with all kinds of like extra knowledge that we didn't have before the fight, and go, look at us, we're so smart, we can say stuff. All right, any other things you want to say about this before we jump topics?
Just talking about Baku again. Like, to me, this is the coolest thing about fighting. Like, I've been to every corner of this planet fighting people, and that is when you say world champion, right? There's no other sport where the world champion is actually going and winning this belt or fighting, defending it across the globe, right? The NFL world champion, they never leave the country. Even this soccer World Cup world champion, right? They play in like 4 different countries. It's so. This is one of the special things about fighting. That's so awesome.
That's it. Yeah, ever since I was a kid, I used to rip on the World Series. I was like, that makes no sense. Who named this? Who named this? All right. So this week, folks, if you didn't know, and that's totally okay if you didn't, there was literally good major organizations just dropping gems all week and all weekend from Friday to Sunday. I don't think we can dispute that's the weekend. That's the cap in the end. Dude, just awesome action the whole way through. I'm gonna try to do it in chronological order the best I can. One championship had an event early on the Friday. I'm the captain of my own ship. I do what I want, but I don't got time, and I'm not gonna wake up fucking 3 a.m. for fucking tent fights. I'm sorry. I'm not that. I'm sick and degenerate for fights, but not that bad. That's the one I missed. So that actually happened, but they had a double header that one at our North American slated time zone. We'll get into that in a second. So I'll skip forward slightly to the BKFC event that happened week in, week out. You know what I'm going to say about the BKFC. I'm going to tell you to watch it. I'm going to tell you that it's awesome. I'm going to tell you that it's the best violence you're going to see. You don't have to know anybody's name. And there you go, cut, paste. And I put my same thing on it event after event after event. They're the most consistent product right now, in my opinion, as far as entertainment goes.
And they're doing the coolest thing at the end of August. The fight in Fenway Park, right? They're doing an outdoor fight at Fenway. That's so badass. That's so cool.
So awesome. I'm looking forward to it. And yeah, here we go. This is a clips from the main event. We got 2 of them.
Once again, he's got to start clinching. He's still hurt. He can't.
And part 2. And this is pretty much the only example I have tonight, folks, of good refereeing. Just take that for whatever it's worth. I'm loving all these taunts. I've seen that before, but I'm loving all the taunts, man. It's a great way to end the fight there. Van Camp, obviously, that was his 3rd time getting dropped. Obviously, I couldn't find the first knockdown. And then getting up, and then he almost went through the ropes. Like, he was done. He was cooked. And great job by the ref to say, nah, you've had your time, man.
You 100%. And I'm not saying that he was going to come back and win, but we talked about this maybe 2 weeks ago. Like, a skill in boxing is how to take the 8 count. Like, don't rush and jump up your feet and then you stumble and fall out of the ring. Like, don't do that. And also don't take a knee until the ref's done counting and then says the fight's over. So
because we had that.
Yeah, there's a skill to catching your breath, recovering, standing up on 8, and then okay, I'm good to go, like ready to go.
Yes. And not for nothing, because you're not going to be able to time this in real life when it happens, especially when your head's ringing. But just for the sake of the rules, as long as you're rising through the count of 9 and 10, you're still good. You don't have to be perfectly square yet. But yeah, good reffing. Van Camp was blown out of the water. And just a little thing to his opponent, to Cisneros, I'm sure it's got to be awfully hard. And I hope none of his family or whatever is impacted. But Bri, if he's from Venezuela, and if you guys don't know, Venezuela just went through some shit recently. A lot of people lost their lives, so God bless them. But like, he was going on about just thanking all the nations, all the different nations that have given support, and to everybody who has and the people who still are. There's incredible effort. Good for him. He was a really emotional young guy. But another guy to pay attention to over at BKFC. And then we move on. We move on to other things, such as ONE Championship. There was a ONE Championship that happened earlier Friday, like I mentioned, but then there was this one. This one forces me into puns. I can't help myself. It's effortless. It just happens. All right, so this card, was played for the North American audience at a proper time for us to watch on Friday night. Good action. There was some really good stoppages. There was a dude. Everybody and their mom's doing modified twisters. Everybody's trying to do the Scottish twister.
Oh yeah,
There was one of those because there's just so much shit to cover this week, folks. I literally the software would not allow me to put all the videos of all the shit that I wanted to, so I had to pick and choose, which is weird for me. But I picked this one because we've seen Scottish twisters and we've seen knockouts, we've seen nice body attacks to finish fights, and all those are great. I wish I could have added them from this event. If you haven't seen it, go back and watch it. But this is some shit you don't see every day.
Heavyweights throwing down in Lupini. Paul Elliott at that southpaw stance, going up top with a huge head kick. Through all 230.
And I know your heavyweight self is all excited when you see that. Dude, come on. Like, flying high kick, basically, because he got off the ground. It counts as flying. 6 seconds. Like, you don't see that shit every day. It was awesome.
So Rob doesn't know this. I knew you were going to put this clip. I knew you were going to Reagan, the guy that got head kicked, is a friend of mine. Is a friend, a teammate of mine.
No.
But listen, guys, listen. We've talked about A side and B side before, and he spars with us because there's just heavyweights all flock together, right? There's not a whole lot of heavyweights. He's from a different gym, has different coaches, but that was his pro debut. This is pro debut against a guy with 10 fights in one, who's like 8-2. They were serving him up. They were serving him up for that, and as a training partner, all you can do is try and get him as prepared as you can. But
Respect.
like, you gotta have coaches and people in your life. It's exciting, right? It's exciting to think, oh, I'm skipping the like shitty part about being a fighter, fighting on the local scene, on the regional scene. I'm just gonna go straight to making money. Like, it's fun to think that, but you gotta have somebody in your corner that's like, yo, they're not taking care of us here. Like, they're not helping us out right now.
And I shout out to him for taking the fight, because if not, then no fight happens. But also, that guy doesn't look like he's pissed in a cup in a few years. And one doesn't often deal with it. One fans, I'm telling the truth. But yeah, still, like, unfortunately, he's on the B side of it, but it's still cool. Like,
dude, and that was, I think it was like a 6-second knockout, like 7-second knockout.
Yeah.
One didn't go, oh, this is the 7th fastest knockout. It was 6th, tied for the 7th fastest knockout in history, right? They just let it be. They just let it be what it was.
Yeah. And that probably is. I don't know. But for one, that's
for heavyweight, it's gotta be.
That's probably the record, right? It's
gotta be.
It's gotta be. Yeah. So maybe a swing and a miss for not doing it. But anyway, still cool. Still cool stuff. You never see a 230-pound gorilla flying through the air like that. All right. So then we move on from Friday, going to Saturday. Obviously, we wake up and we boom, for North American fans, we're right into UFC Baku. We've already covered that. So what happens at the same time, about give or take by a couple hours? Well, the other bare knuckle show, BKB. Bare knuckle boxing, was over in England. I don't know the exact location. I'm brain farting that right now, but that doesn't matter. What does matter about this is something I've been wanting to talk about for a while, and this is starting a series of fights from the BKB. Folks, check out the BKB, the Dorito ring, as Zach calls it, the Trigon, which is one of the coolest fucking formats to fight in. Really forces action. But this fight here, it was in Cardiff. There you go. My Yankee ass didn't remember. It was in Cardiff. So there you go for the UK people. But Lee Shelby, the headliner, Lee Shelby, former world champion. Dude held a world title for like, excuse my boxing knowledge, I think it was like 3 years. Maybe it was 4. I'm not trying to take anything away from him. Whatever. Still legit world champ, and then retired and moved on to other things. But like, man, when you when you put, what's the words I'm trying to delicately say this, which is so not my thing. When you put a certain level of fighter with a certain level of fighter, you get a certain result, and it's not surprising. So here we go.
Never try to set anything up. Everything he tries to land.
Beautiful body shot.
That might be it.
He said looking for a way out. That body shot opened the door and slammed.
The dismissal, dismissal by Shelby was so, I loved it. But did you hear that? Did you hear that body shot? That was fucking nasty. And I'm just highlighting not only just this. Lee Shelby kicks off a long series. BKB has signed numerous, and I mean numerous, boxing world champions recently. The next one up is Ortiz. I forget his first name right now. I'll get back to it in a second. But he fought Mayweather, did the headbutting fight. Anyways, Victor Ortiz. There we go. But anyways, he got some of the Vargas brothers now. They got some other people that I'm blanking out on. Like, BKB has been signing the fuck out of people.
And I consider myself a bare knuckle connoisseur at this point, because I watch them all. From my opinion, right? BKB is the much more like skilled product. It's 3-minute rounds. It's 3 minutes rounds. It's in the Dorito. There's there's ropes. Like, these guys are actually boxing. They're boxing, and there's like back and forth, right? Yeah. BKFC is super entertaining. It's 2 minutes, and guys just go wild. Guys just close their eyes and go crazy. But BKB is the much more like, if you like the back and forth and the skill, it scratches that itch a little bit better for me than BKFC does.
Yeah, no, dude. I'm glad you brought that up as we are connoisseurs of the bare knuckle product. Yeah, no, that's a great take right there, dude. Yeah, BKB is a little bit more suit and tie, and BKFC is a little bit more whiskey and bullshit. So yeah, that happened. And let's see, what's this comment here? BKB is good. Shout out Miss Katrina. Dude, yeah, BKB is very good. Glad other people enjoy it. That's what's up. All right. So we move
American shows. Sorry,
yeah,
do American shows.
Yeah. So BKB was its own British thing, and BYB was similar, but they had the ring, and then they merged. So they do shows both sides. And yeah, this next one with Victor Ortiz is going to be in LA. So yeah, the very next, so they got like 3-4 events already planned out. Go check out their X handle, folks. BKB. You'll find it right away. And yeah, great, just amazing stuff. All right. So what else was there? Oh, so we move forward in the timeline. I'm trying to remember how it all played out in my head. Like, what the hell did I actually see? Okay, these 2 events kind of happened at the same time, but I'm biased as shit, so I'm gonna pick one. As the only North American fan of the PFL, and probably 5. There's probably 5 American fans of the PFL, and I'm one of them. Zach's one of them. That leaves 3 of you out there. If you're out there, comment. If you're one of the 5 PFL fans, I feel like everybody else just shits on the PFL. It's like cool to shit on the PFL. But recently, with a lot of people getting frustrated with the UFC product, I feel like people are starting, at least a small contingent of people realizing that, like, hey, shit, there's actually talent everywhere. And yeah, maybe they're not the very, very, very best in the world, but they're still fucking good. And still a good event that happened on ESPN. And were you able to catch this fight, dude?
I did because Justin Wetzel's a teammate of mine as well, and he was on the undercard. But yeah, I did watch.
Oh, hell yeah, that's what's up. All right, so here's basically I had to pick and choose through clips once again, folks. I really wanted to do this the fight with Rob Wilkinson and Abraham Babley. I was such a Babley fan. I'm also a Rob Wilkinson fan. First off, Rob Union, you know, like if you're a Rob and you're doing stuff, I'm probably a fan. I want to be a friend. Us Robs unite. It's a law. We have to do it. But the kind of story of Rob Wilkinson, right? He kind of became a champion, then got busted for roids, then was taking some, then started taking some L's, you know. And Abraham Babley coming out through the pipeline product of the PFL Africa, trimmed down his first debut at light heavyweight, and they had a pretty banger of a fight. Babley gassed out. Rob looked better. You know, we talked about this the other week, dude, when we talked about when people kind of come off PEDs. Okay, first off, betting advice. If somebody's coming back from PEDs, fade them fucking hard. You're gonna win. Like, you're not the same. But there's like an adjustment period. I'm not saying that they can't win fights or they don't come good. I think you have to learn to run at what their body can actually do and come good again. And I feel like Rob found that.
Well, and dude, and this is the argument against PEDs. Like, just throwing out arbitrary numbers. If you're fighting at a 5 and PEDs take you to a 10, when you get off of them, you go back to a 7, right? You don't drop back down to a 5 or lower. You're still better than you were before you were on them. And then, like, 100%, you have to learn. You're not a 10 anymore. So you have to learn how 7s win fights, right? And that's exactly how it goes.
That's it. That's a great analogy and breakdown of that. Well, here's someone that's just staying around. Like, shout out Liz Carmouche.
Side leg as well as the calf. That'll get Araujo's hands to come down.
Good job by Bibi.
Got a guillotine here for Liz. Oh, and that looks deep.
The takedown proves to be some trouble here from Bruce.
Guillotine choke for Liz Carmouche.
42 years young, getting her first guillotine. Your favorite submission, right?
I know. No defense. Ariano, you're Brazilian, but she did no defense, didn't put her shoulder down, didn't fight the hands, just waited and goes, oh, you know how to finish this? Okay, I'll tap.
It was that time. But I was happy for Liz because, you know, her former military background, they had the PFL had her going speaking to the troops and all that. And then she used her mic time to call out and try to elicit a 135 women's division, which the PFL doesn't have. I guess she's, as rightfully so, she's tired of forcing herself to 25.
Yeah.
And, you know, at her age and stature, why not call for that? So I thought that was clever.
That was great. And are we gonna talk about the pay later, or can I just
run it? Run it. No, run it.
So like, people are they're California, right? CSAC always lists the pay. You have they give them pay, and CSAC lists it. And people have been shitting on the payment. First off, she made $100,000. Like, that's not bad. That's not. I know it's not NFL money, whatever you want to say. Mm-hmm. Not bad for one night to make $100,000. But it's like, these numbers are sustainable. This is actually a good thing for the PFL from the business side, from looking at it from somebody that was in the GFL draft, right? And was going, oh my God, look at all this money I'm going to make. And then didn't make a penny, you know? When I see these realistic pay numbers, I go, oh, okay, the PFL is going to be around. They're going to stick around.
100%. And it's necessary, folks. Like, I know people want to get into it, but to keep a product, you can't have like all the same things at the same time. You want more fights, which the PFL has been giving. They've been doing more fights. They've been putting on more shows, which is for me at the core what I want, because that means more fighters are getting more fights, more job opportunity. That's the important part. Now, you also can't simultaneously do way more fights and be paying people the absolute best. Do they still pay pretty good? Yeah. And then people are like, oh, the co-main event guy. The co-main event guy is pretty new, dude. Like he's only got a few pro fights. Like, what do you think his contract would be over at the other place? Like, not much better. It would be $2,000 better, folks. He'd be fighting for $2,000 more. That would be the difference.
And just it's just hard. And you know, that's why we have a show, guys. That's why we have a show. Like people, they just want to throw out numbers. Oh, you should be making at least $1 million for fighting in the main event of the show. It's like, where's that money come from? Like, what do you mean they should be making at least that? Where's that? Where's the money come from? Like,
yeah,
I promise you, they're not going to release this. But I promise you, the PFL that is probably a 50% profit share. Like, they're not taking home more than they paid those fighters. I can promise you that.
There we go. That's one part of it. The other part of it, there's two parts I want to rip into. All the people who talk all that crazy shit, I can tell for a fucking fact the minute you open your mouth, you've never owned or operated a business. Like,
right,
because you don't have any employees, because you don't know how much that shit costs you. And if you did, you would be like, oh fuck, I kind of respect what's going on here, because that shit adds up fast. And you got to be careful, and you got to be selective on who you spreading the. There's only so much gravy to go around. You got to be careful on how you're doing it, or you close up shop. The other part I want to add into this, the mystique, if you will, is just like the UFC, where like not all the bonuses are disclosed, not all the money is told up front. Yes, on paper, what had to happen on paper with CSAC, the disclosed payment amounts. Andy Foster himself, like the guy who runs the entire California State Athletic Commission, him out of his own words says, yeah, I know that's not their real paychecks. I know the promoters pay them other, whatever's on the side. So that's just a reported number, because California is California. All right. And I'm just going to leave it at that. I don't want to diss California too much, but California, you know your own stuff. I'm just leave it at that. Like, hey, you know what? Hey, the big dog just said, I know those numbers is a little bit flexible, and so it be it. So I don't know. It's weird to me, like people always getting up in the cheese of fighters and what they get paid and what they're doing. It's like, what you go to, I don't know, somewhere. You go to Walmart and you ask the greeter, hey, what are you making? And then the guy who's doing all the manual labor, unloading all the stuff off the dock, you ask him, oh, how much you make? You don't ask the guy taking, I don't know where you shop. I'm just making up random places. Do you ask the tire guy the next time you go change your tires? Do you ask that guy what he's making? Because that job sucks. Shout out to all the guys who change tires. Love you guys. Like, wow. You know what I mean? Like,
it's a weird part about MMA fandom. Mainly, it's just something to bitch about, and that's what people like to do. But it is weird, and even like. Like, you can shit on Floyd Mayweather. You could shit on Floyd Mayweather. Like, he's made some decisions. I would rather be in Floyd Mayweather's financial situation right now than a lot of you guys. Like, I would rather be like try to figure that out. Try to figure out where that $1 billion went than working for $12 an hour. And it's just like I don't know. It's something that just the more we've been doing this, and I say this every time, I've been trying to like be involved in things on X. And I'm like, what the heck? What are you guys talking about? What are you guys talking about? They should be paying more. It's not like they're like being mean about it. They don't have any more to pay them,
Yeah, that's it. We don't, not being mean. Like, this is, you want us to show up next week or not? Like, you know what I mean? Like, God damn it, dude. Shit's expensive. Oh, run a business, then come back to me. Tell me what's up. All right. So then later, at the same time, actually, simultaneously, Zayas, Xander Zayas, Jaron Ennis, Boots Ennis got down, and what we had it on the intro, but we'll get back to it again. One of the best fights of the year, arguably. Maybe it's a recency bias in my mind, but young guys in their prime, skilled as shit, giving it to back and forth, but a little bit not a little bit, clear advantage towards one guy, but the heart and determination to make a fight out of it through the former champion in Zayas at 23 years old too, just so young and a whole lot of future in front of him. Man, it was a crazy fight. And here's three clips, and they're all kind of favor. No, actually I lied. I'm gonna run 4 clips. Here we go. All right, that happened round 1, like shit. And that happens a lot of times where people just get caught in the first round, but then fights turn around, ends up being pretty damn good. Third round was amazing. Here's this clip from the third round.
Dude, that was such a good little clip right there. And it's something that you really only get in boxing. And I don't know why we don't see it in any other sport, MMA, kickboxing. Like the letting the punches slide off of you, where you're not like rolling them, you're not slipping it, it's hitting you and you're just letting it slide off. That's so smooth and it's so high level. And he did it like 15 times, just boom, 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 letting the punches slide off.
Yeah, dude, the art of rubbernecking is just something else. You got to be so damn comfortable with getting hit and being so present-minded. It's elite. So then we move forward 2 more rounds, I believe. That uppercut was so nice
from the southpaw. So nice.
Just nice. And then slightly after this, I believe 2 more rounds after that. And that was it. One of the best fights of the year. The corner kind of waved it off for him, and he'd already been dropped 3 times.
Right. There's no shame. There's no shame in that. In like that's another. I haven't seen anybody hating on Zayas, but there's no shame in going out on your shield, right? This is a callback to what we're saying to Michel Pereira, right? Zayas, there's no questions for him right now. He gave it everything he had, and it wasn't enough. And that's unfortunately the sport of boxing sometimes. I would rather feel like that than Pereira being like, oh, what if I this, what if I that, you know?
Mm-hmm. It's funny. The only person that I saw talking heavy shit was the guy who could have been in the match with either one of the guys. Virgil Ortiz was calling him a quitter and saying, I mean, they're pro fighters. They're going to do that. It builds their social media at the moment. But I was like, damn, dude, you're like the only guy ripping this cat. I'm a Zayas fan. I'm going to continue to be a Zayas fan. I think I've watched from his second pro fight. He was like 18 years old when I first got to see him on Top Rank like many years ago. So I'm looking forward to like the next 10 plus years of him fighting and hoping all the good stuff that comes with it. But that's not it. We're not done. And there's more, like a 90s infomercial. And there's more. There was Zuffa boxing just this Sunday to not let us go unrested with a lot of combat sports. This one came in the rear to close up the shop. There's some good stuff. There's some good knockouts. The point I want to make on this right up front is it was not held at the Apex. All their other ones were at the Apex besides their one in England. And then they did it at the Chelsea here at the Cosmopolitan here in Vegas. So a real arena. It's mainly used for concerts, so it's not like a stadium arena, but whatever. People, seats better, more views, more everything. And it was good. It was good I think it was good for the product and everything else that goes with it. So here's the clip. And then, just like we promised, this clip leads into the domino effect. We're going to go backwards into all the shitbag reffing that went on. So just ride with us. Just ride, because it starts right here going backwards. Let's roll.
And then right there, Bo's trying to open up again. He just collapsed him.
5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10.
All right. Now I know there's hands being thrown like crazy. It was a great knockout, but then there was like an extra punch. Like, I don't know if everybody caught that one. There was a total extra punch. Brado was already down, and it went in there. And and from that angle, it doesn't do anything. But guess what? We're in the age of 360 camera viewing all the time. So we have another one. Here, we're going to start this conversation here with this. And I know it's far away, so now that you know where it's at, pay attention to that extra punch and see how clearly the guy was down. From that angle, it's like, shit, like, what are we doing here, dude? Very bad. And okay, and I'm going to start my tirade with the point, or the illusion. I'll say this. Yeah, that's it. That's the word I'm looking for. The illusion the public is given is that the commission is there for safety and honesty in the sport. Safety and honesty. Now, most of the time they're okay with the safety stuff. They're full of shit with the honesty and integrity. That's the other word I was looking for. The integrity. The fucking integrity means nothing. These guys get paid. These guys go to dinner the night or 2 nights before the events with the promoters, are given envelopes on the side and on the hush and given winks. And who's the A side for each agenda? The A side, B side shit matters. Okay. If you think the extra punch on the guy who went down, who was the B side, if that punch would have happened, that fight would have been a DQ. That fight would have been a fucking DQ. And Jeff Mullins, who's the head of Nevada Athletic Commission, who knows me and I know him. And guess what, Jeff? What's up? I'm telling you straight to your face. You're full of shit when you said that the punch was inconsequential because it just grazed the chin. I'm not gonna make no threats, but let me just Zach, when was the last time you grazed somebody's chin and something never happened, right? Like, graze the chin. Like, get the fuck out of here with that, bro. Like, you know, that, see, now I'm heating up. You go.
Well, I mean, you're unfortunately absolutely correct. And we've gone over this on the show before. Like, when I was on the Ultimate Fighter, we're living in the Apex. And like, Dana has an office in the Apex, and one day when I'm there and I'm like in the back where the cameras aren't, and he's like lifting weights with these like with a chick and another guy. I'm like, that's weird. Like, I didn't know, like, maybe they're just Dana's friends. I don't know. They're just hanging out socially, casually, having some good time, whatever. Well, then we fight in the Apex. And those people he was lifting with, hanging out with, were the judges. They were the judges, the Adeline Bird and one other dude, you know, like, like I go, oh, like, they were just literally they were just having a powwow, and Dana was telling him, yo, I have this show going. I need this guy to win. Like, he's the one we want to win. Mm-hmm. So if there's not a knockout, you know, write it in, you know.
Yes, you make it almost insurmountable. Like, the person literally has to pull some magical stuff, win by knockout in most cases, just to overcome that kind of stuff. And that's just one. All right, so we're starting there. That's bad reffing, dude. You just let the guy get blasted while on the ground. You don't call it.
Yeah. And just, I know we got a lot of bad refs to talk about, but just to belabor the point, right? Notice the difference with, like, that's a B side who's losing the fight to begin with, and who's laying on the ground, like, convulsing, and he still counts to 10, right? Compare that to Rico at the end after the bell's already rung and the guy's waving it off saying, no, this can't go forward.
We don't even have to go that far, my man, because we're gonna, like I said, we're gonna play Time Cop, shout out 90s action movies reference, and we're gonna go slightly backwards. And I think it's hard for me to tell, but I'm gonna do my best to try to bring this back in chronological order. All right, yeah. All right, so just like you said about the Rico thing, watch this bad reffing. This happened at the Zayas Ennis fight. This is the co-main event featuring Emiliano Vargas. First out, shout out Emiliano Vargas. Also, shout out to myself for feeling old as shit, because I used to idolize his dad, Fernando Vargas. I used to fucking love Fernando, and I'm over here cheering for his son. And I feel old as shit, and just have to put that in. It's completely irrelevant. But watch this horrendous fucking reffing. All right, that was not the full clip that I wanted, and I apologize. But I'll get to in that fight, in that sequence, the actual KO, the actual finishing shot, the Myers, I believe is the opponent. He's literally throwing punches back. He gets tackled down to the ground by the ref to stop the fight. Like, you get stopped but it was like it was early in the fight too. Like, how do you say that like the person's not fighting back when you're literally tackling them through a series of punches to end the fight? It was just weird. It was goofy. And then here's the fight before that with Ben Whitaker, the clear and obvious A side of this equation. Watch this very fair reffing that happens in the second round. Did you hear all that audio? Did you hear all that audio from the commentator? Kind of like, that was a weird kind of stoppage for the guy who's totally up and fine. It's the second round. You don't just, and then immediately into the promoting of the A side. Well, this is Ben Whitaker's USA. That was the whole point. Yeah. Eddie Hearn brought his boy out to the States to try to build up his market value, to sell him better later. The whole thing, like, whoa, what a great debut, except for that weird finish, even though that was probably what was going to happen. It was all like my favorite fight of all time, probably wouldn't have happened in today's market because the refs just be shutting down fights. And that's all I just wanted to say. Like, I got the other clip, but go for it, Zach. I know you had something you want to say.
No, yeah, I was just gonna say that's one of my. That gets brought up every time there's a bad ref decision. They happen in the Rico one too, right? That it's all academic. Oh, it was gonna happen anyway. There's two things, right? If it was gonna happen anyway, then you didn't need to do that. But if you did that, then that means it probably wasn't going to happen anyway. It's like it's that thing. Like if it's going to happen anyway, then let it happen. Like
the best fight that happened in my lifetime, Corrales Castillo. Like, you wouldn't have the magic if it was all academic. If it was like, well, he's going to lose anyway, then how did he come back and win by a spectacular knockout? And we call it the greatest fight of the decade, one of the best of all time, no doubt top 3 best boxing fights ever that we have on recording. Like, get the fuck out of here with that shit. All right, I think I messed up the last clip, but we're just going to run it again. This is back to the Vargas fight, and watch the awkward refereeing. Once again, the commentators at a loss for words. They can only play the script as much as they can. What are they supposed to do? Say like, oh, he wasn't punching back. That was not weird. That was not awkward. The fuck?
That was just, so I don't think that one was like fixed at all. That was just a bad ref. That was just a really bad ref. He was trying to stop Vargas is the one that he's trying to declare the winner, and he was like trying to like stop him. As a ref, you're supposed to just block the down fighter with your body, right? You're supposed to take the punches for them, but he was doing the opposite.
It was a bad reffing, like you said, dude. Bad reffing.
That was just a bad job.
Yeah, that was a bad job, and that's what we mean. Not. And I'm not one of those guys where like everything is rigged. I believe more in oopsies than I believe in like full blown conspiracies, but there is both happening at the same time. And when you have both, you can't, like, it's just too much. It's fucked up. All right. So now we're going to rewind even further back to the MMA portion, back to the UFC portion. And this I missed. So shout out to the internet for like highlighting this. I don't know where I was in real life when this happened, but this shit's crazy.
Some of the videos I was watching this morning on the regional scene.
Fucking yelling like you would. Let me bite your ear. You bite my. We're screaming, dude. That's crazy. That's animal shit. Like, that's weird. Like, unless it's a certain setting and it's all consenting. Like, that's not. You don't do that shit. It's weird, dude.
This one is so weird. It's so weird, and it's like they need to make a bigger deal of it. I'm not even talking about the ref. Like, the UFC needs to cut this dude. You can't be biting people in the octagon. This is so weird and strange, and then it's just compounded by the fact that the ref didn't catch it, just let it, and he's like, yo, like my era, and just gets TKO'd. Like, this one is like beyond bad ref. This is bad commission. This is bad. I don't know if they were using instant replay in Baku, but weird.
weird. I can't even believe that's what I'm seeing, dude. All right. All right, we're not done. We're not done. This one is more just like, I know you know better, bro. That's why I added this one. Because like, I know you know jits. 2, you were right there. 3, you're like actually pretty damn good, even though you're British. Like, fucking ugly, dude. Like that guy. And then somebody got a really good picture of him, and that went all over the internet. And that guy looks like a corpse, and is like circulated around the internet. And shout out to Nurselton. Like, that's not his deal. But Goddard, like, for the flying fragrance of Britain, like, dude, you're too damn good. Like, that dude was out for a minute. You're just I don't know what you're waiting for, bro. That was weird.
So like, I'll stick up for Mark Goddard a little bit here. I'll stick up for him a little bit. Like, you don't want to be the guy that calls the fight early for a choke, right? You don't want to be that guy, because the choke, like, you could choke someone for probably 30 seconds past them being passed out, and they'll be okay, maybe. Like, you don't want to be the guy that ends it early for the choke. However, you grab his arm, Mark. You grab his arm. It just is totally loose, and then, and then you don't do anything. And then you don't do anything. What were you expecting him to do? Like, you did the thing. You did the WWE, and you dropped the arm, and it fell down. That means the fight's over. Stop the fight, Mark.
Yeah, dude, and you're right there. You see the way the choke's being applied. You know it's money. Like, it's, I don't know. He like, oh, I need to see the white in his eyes. American Revolution reference there. But that's why that's what he's doing as a British dude. He's like, I need to see him almost convulsing before I let this end here. Like, that one goes back to, like, the first one was just egregious. Like, bro, get your commission together. What the fuck? Like, anybody and your mom, even a child, knows biting the ears wrong. Like, that one is just bad. Okay, like, everybody goofs up. I'll let Mark have his goof up. Like, okay, maybe he didn't nail it. All right, shit happens. Okay, cool, whatever. All right, now we'll go to this one.
Follow-up shots. And that is the first knockdown for Pereira in 7 fights. Great start for the Brazilian.
He's grabbing his hair. He's still doing it.
Come on, ref. Straight back up.
Oh,
Yeah, bring it. Is that Tom?
Yeah, that was the one that got the whole internet upset, which they should. And now Herb Dean, as rightfully should, he has the whole angry mob with flames and pitchforks after him. I know you got feelings about it.
Dude, it's not even funny anymore. It was funny last week, and I had a whole. We went in on Herb last week, dude. This is like a month straight. This is like a month straight where we're just like, we need to clip that quote that you had. He needs to not break any more rules. How many rules do you get to break, Herb? Like, you know, we have a punishment. If someone breaks rules, you can take a point. He needs to not break any more rules. No, Herb, do your job. You need to do your job, Herb. Like, what? Like, this is so mind-boggling. Like, Herb is messed up now for a month straight, and was already the worst ref. He was already the most memeable worst ref in the game, and now he keeps messing up. And it's almost like now he's like, I won't take a point. I don't care how bad people cheat. I refuse to do it because then people will know that I'm actually bad and it's not an accident. Like, I don't know what's happening. I do not know what's happening with Herb Dean.
I don't know. None of us know. It's weird. It's really weird. I have respect for him, and it's like, I just can't believe he's like just that bad. Like, there's got to be something else going to it. I think you said something about him playing like 4D chess or something.
Yeah, I said he's trying to make change from the inside to change the rules by just ruining every fight he's a part of.
No shit, dude. You know what was more weird was in that fight, and maybe just because I'm an old school guy who loves the old school stuff. I was like, I know Kimo Leopoldo is sitting in his wherever he's at, pointing at the screen, like, hey, that rule is because of me. Like, they haven't done that since the 90s. Yeah, you haven't seen someone utilize the hair bun pool since Hoist did it, UFC 3, because it's illegal. Like, everybody knows it's illegal. Like,
and here's the thing too. Like this is the wild part. This is the wild, craziest part. That's even worse for her. Like this was not an accidental nut kick, right? It wasn't.
No.
Oh, I was throwing a low kick and he did this. Shara got dropped, and grabbed his hair to break his posture so he couldn't get finished. He literally fouled to keep himself from getting finished. Then he fouls again to get away while he's trying to get up. Pokes him right in the eye. Like, what are we doing, Herb? So Herb's going to go, give me the translator. Tell him that he can't cheat anymore. No, Herb, take your point. You don't need a translator when you go 1 point. You don't need to translate that, Herb.
No, yeah, no shit. Oh, man. And all right, this one was alluded to by the comments earlier. And this is what I'm saying. Like, something's got to go on, because like, I know when it goes to other places around the world, the easiest thing for fans to do is go, oh, those new refs are shitty. You know, the new refs are ass. But we have our staple guys, Goddard, Herb, screwing it up. And then I don't know this guy. This guy's relatively new. You know, respect to him. I don't know him. But then this is how the night started, and it was just like a fucking. I'm gonna say uku, but not everybody knows what uku is. It's like a hair lice infestation. Like, one started, and then just like it was game over because of this. This was stupid. Like, I know that clip sucked. Sorry about that. But the point was, the dude was not like the fight did not need to be stopped. It was the most. I mean, that's where you're gonna get people leaning into what we talked about the last week. If people start losing faith in the product's legitimacy, people start thinking things are rigged or works or whatever, you're gonna fucking poison the sport, and then nobody's gonna be interested in it. I know I wouldn't be. And I've loved this shit since day one. I fucking love this shit. And if it comes out that it is fucked, I'm watching badminton. Like, I don't know what to tell you. Like, no, I'm watching other combat sports, but it's still pointless.
Well, and like for this one specifically, I don't know. I'm not a ref. I'm never gonna be a ref. But I don't know if like in referee circles or on referee X, right? I don't know if they like get clout from like jumping in and making stoppages. Like, I don't know. Like, is that a thing? But I feel like refs are getting excited to jump in and do stoppages. That's just like my weird feeling. And I don't know why. Because this was like nobody was even close to out. And then the guy was also in a safe position. But as soon as that ref goes, boom, oh, here's my moment. Like, wave it out. Like, I don't know. That's the only thing I'm thinking about, is that like they want the clip, like they want the clicks of them waving the fight off. I really don't know.
I really don't know either, man. Well, you know, we won't know, but we're towards the end. And thanks for going the distance with us. We're not over yet. We got a last little thing to share with you before we go our separate ways. But folks, if you're on X, hit the retweet or repost, excuse me, and so other people can see this product. If you're on YouTube, just hit the thumbs up. Leave a comment, even if it's in the future, like you see it later and you couldn't talk to us live. But this is the point. This is the spiel. 7 p.m. Pacific, Mondays. We'll be here next Monday. Join the conversation. To everybody who commented along the way tonight, thank you so very much. Really appreciate it. Join the conversation with me and Zach. We know this sports stuff you guys are wondering about. We'd love to, you know, share our thoughts and our knowledge with all of you on all this kind of stuff. But before I go, I got two little things I want to bring up or just share. One, happy trails to Ariana Lipsky, Miss Silva now, Silva. deciding after 13 years to hang it up, to call it a career, which we've talked about many times on this program. Folks, if you've ever competed in stuff, you probably remember how hard it was. Me in a different lifetime, I walked away from my sport professionally. Zach's still going because he's awesome. But like, yeah, it's a fucking hard, it's a hard thing to call yourself out. And I don't know if she had doubts in her mind or whatever from the performance or the result with her Bishop fight made her choose whatever her choice is. God bless her. And I hope you happy things in life. I hope you find already have your other outlets so you don't end up, just employing yourself. Getting that job in. Just getting too drunk and not knowing what to do with yourself is never a good thing. And just letting go of the sport you gave your life to is hard. So I just wanted to give her a shout out and, good things in your life. That's not an easy thing to do. Dude, and then I have something for you to rate. All right. So here we go. We got last thing here. Rate this. Like, I'm not even gonna give you a hint. Just watch it.
So that was so smooth. But I mean, 5 out of 5, 10 out of 10, whatever. But I just have so many questions now.
I know,
so
me
many
too.
questions. Like, whose phone was that? Why were they throwing it through the crowd? What did John do with it? So John's put like, there's so many questions.
Is that how you get in contact with John? Like, you just use your own phone and then call yourself later? Like, that's one thing. I also was like, maybe, dude, the internet has ruined me because I was just like, well, this is like too perfect. This is set up, And then I was thinking, was it the person behind them trying to catch the phone because there's somebody behind them? And then I was thinking, I was like, could John have just been really good at every sport? Like, that was like, he could have been good at baseball. He could have been good at anything. Like, anything. The guy just has like cat-like reflexes and eyeballs of a cyborg. Like, he just catches anything, Oh, damn. This is funny. Mike, great comment. He said it was Mike says it was USADA trying to reach out. That is
old field test.
Picograms. Awesome. Picograms. Oh, nice one. Yeah, dude.
I will tell you that John would not be great at every sport because if he was, he would be playing football like his brothers, or he would be playing some other sport like his brother. It's not like his family was like only in fighting or wrestling. They were in a lot of other stuff.
That's respect. You know what? That's good. Fair enough. Good play. Good play there. All right. Well, folks. Oh, before I say that part, Zach, is there anything you want to say before we close up shop?
There's one thing to everyone watching, right? We've got almost 100 people watching right now, but we always start the show with talking about the UFC, pump and dump. I think that's like my personal favorite segment, but there was only like 12 people on during that one. If you got let us know if you guys want us to wait to talk about the UFC till later in the show, or if you guys are night owls. I don't know why everyone gets on super late, but let us know so we can try and give you guys more what you're looking to see, or if you want to just watch us talk about bare knuckle, that's fine.
Yeah, all of it. We're trying to figure this out. And so with that being said, our handles are right there. You see them? You can see both of them right there. Hit us up. We're really accessible dudes. So let us know. Share your thoughts on how you would like the show to be formatted going forward. And that's about it. All right. Well, it's been a good time. We'll see you next time. And in the meantime, stay fully hydrated. All right.